Are you ready for our new podcast?
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah, baby. Okay. Well, today we've got a few pretty cool topics queued up, and I'm interested to get kids' perspective on this. So let's get to work. Okay, so here is a clip of some looting going on in a Nordstrom's. You're familiar with Nordstrom's, the store? We've been there, right? This happens to be occurring in Los Angeles.
Yep. Why is nobody doing anything?
It's a good question, Max.
Wow. It's a lot of money. Wow. That's crazy. Well, why are they not doing anything? Like, they're just standing there taking pictures and videos. Like, most likely, Max, because there's nothing they could do. If they would have done anything, they would have been most likely very seriously hurt.
Yeah, that's a good point. So people weren't stepping in because they didn't want to get hurt. Where do you think the police were?
The police?
Yeah.
At their station, I guess.
Okay.
They probably hadn't come yet because isn't there like a law or something there where if you steal $800 or less, like, it doesn't really matter?
There is a law like that. Yes.
Yeah. And is that for each person or is that like for a mob or like a group?
I'm not exactly. I think it's for individuals.
Wow. It's crazy.
Yeah. So let's think about this from multiple perspectives. But one perspective is the people that are committing the crime, meaning they come in and they steal things, and it seems that there's no consequences for doing that.
Yep.
Okay, that's one perspective. The other perspective is people that might have been shopping in the store. How, like, they were probably scared and wondering what's going on.
What's happening?
Yeah. Then there's also people who own the store. In this case, it's a big company, Nordstrom, but in some cases, it's small convenience stores, maybe a family-owned convenience store, and then they lose a bunch of money because people come in and loot, and then they have to replace all those goods in inventory, right?
Yeah.
So a few things are happening. One is that this rate of sort of criminal activity is rising. The other is there are stores that are closing down or locking up their goods behind cages and glass so that people can't get access to them. So it's like shopping almost like shopping in a prison, right, where things are behind cages and bars. And a lot of companies are just pulling back their inventory, or they're not putting expensive inventory into their stores that can be stolen because they don't want to lose those goods to theft, right?
Yeah.
So from a store owner's perspective, it's got to be hard to not put your best products out, because then people can't see them and people can't maybe buy them because you don't have them on hand. So at any rate, there's a lot. This is causing a lot of problems. It's been debated in the news quite a bit. There's different states have different rules and policies around this. California is probably the most lenient of any, in particular Los Angeles, San Francisco. And it just turns out that in these areas, LA, San Francisco, Chicago, this is where they're seeing the highest rises in these crime rates. And so one could say that maybe it's a result of the policies that they have on how they address those crimes. But nonetheless, I am curious, from the sharp minds of two young men, what do you think we could do to change or minimize some of these crime and looting sprees that are happening?
I think maybe they could take away these weird policies, Or maybe like if they ever get too out of hand in certain places, they could just put guards up randomly throughout like fancy stores or whatever, right? They could hire guards to patrol the areas in case if there was something, or they could just take away the policy of like
There were security. Did
800.
you see there are security guards in some of this footage
Where
in the store?
What?
did they do anything?
Yeah, like
No.
what?
I believe that they are instructed not to do anything unless there is threat of physical violence towards patrons of the store or employees of the store. Otherwise,
So they
they're
can't
instructed to
stop
let
someone
people
from
just take
stealing.
things. Yeah,
They basically just can't stop someone from stealing.
that's right.
That's basically basically that and protecting people. That's what their job is.
Yeah.
Yes,
Well-
in fact, I think there was a story at an Apple store where somebody tried to tackle somebody who was stealing something, and they actually, I think, were terminated. That may have been remedied after the fact, but the store policy was that employees should not go after people who are stealing anything for the risk of them getting injured in the process. And so they wanted to keep their employees safe, which in theory is a good thing. But the downside of it is that they can't stop theft.
Yeah, I understand like that they want to keep their employees safe, but like if the employers are there, why would they be just watching the scene? If I were them, I would be like hiding in some cellar or something, waiting for all this madness to leave, and then I'd be able to finally come back out.
Yeah.
And then the police could do their work.
Yes.
But, like, why don't the police go over there and like actually help the store citizens? Because that's just kind of a dumb rule. Like, if they just steal one thing,
Mm-hmm.
like that's bad if you just steal one thing.
You think it's bad to steal?
Stealing anything is bad.
Yeah.
Even one thing?
Yeah,
Yeah.
even one thing. If
Even
it's
a piece of gum.
If it's something that's even just like the littlest type of
But
thing.
these stores, they have a lot of money. They
Yeah.
can afford it. People come in, take some stuff. It's no
Yeah.
big deal.
But the thing is though, then if they let that stuff happen, then more people will find out about it, and then more people will steal from it, and then that will start to cause a big impact on them.
Oh, that's interesting. Okay. So you think just taking even small things is still wrong, and they should be held accountable for, even if it's just like small stuff. But these, even when these companies, they make a lot of money, they have all kinds of, goods that they can probably lose some and it won't hurt them too much. Don't you think it's okay then for people to come and take it?
No, because theft. It's literally against the law. You're not allowed to do it.
Well, okay, it's against the law, but you don't get in trouble for it. So then it's still kind of okay, wouldn't you think?
Well, I mean, like, it's probably fine for them, but it wouldn't be good for most people.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like, Dad, what would you act like if you owned a store and like 12 like robbers came in? Like, what would you act like?
Ooh.
He would tear them to shreds.
Let's defer that question for a little bit later. I have some more questions for you guys. Let's bring this back to some GSD principles. Integrity, purpose, and discipline are our values. So what's happening here, how do you feel about that, recognizing our value system?
I feel like it's not right. It's like wrong.
Okay. What's wrong about it?
Well, it's not showing like it's. Let's see. This is basically where like it's not showing good thought in the mind. Mainly, it's where like people are going crazy, right? They don't know, or like they just do things probably because other people do them, and they know that they're not going to get caught in this case.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Okay, Max.
Well, I think if people do something like that, they should be held accountable and be like, like taken in, or like they should not do it, or like they should definitely be taken to prison or something.
Okay. So they should, pay the consequence for the crime that they committed.
Yeah.
All right. William, you asked about where the police were. And so this is one of many videos out there where this is happening. And in a lot of cases, the police aren't there. So there's a couple of situations that I think are contributing to that. One is, in general, police forces are severely understaffed because there's a shortage of police officers, and they're having trouble filling all of the open spots that they have for police officers in these cities in particular.
Yeah.
So the police officers that they do have are focused on some of the more severe crimes and addressing higher priority things than maybe store theft.
Mm-hmm.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, that makes sense.
Okay. And then there's also an issue of, if these people aren't going to be prosecuted because of policies by the state or the municipalities for the theft, well, then the police would come and they would arrest people, let's say, and write up reports, but then all these people would be let free because of those policies. So it's sort of like, one could say it's maybe a waste of time for the police to be engaged if there's not going to be anything done about it, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So I think those are a couple of the contributing factors to why we don't see as many police in these situations, unless there's a higher level of violence and threat in terms of physical threat to employees or patrons. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay. So what can be done? What can be done?
I think maybe they could take away, for first things first, they could take away these policies. They can make it where it's like anything you steal is bad and that you should be prosecuted or anything like that. I also think that the police should maybe take a little bit more charge in this and say our job is to protect people and to make sure theft doesn't happen. So I think they also need to stand up a little bit for themselves. But that's basically the scenario I'm thinking of.
Okay. Max, any ideas of what we could do?
Well, I'm thinking definitely to maybe actually put that law, that law should not be a thing where you only can steal up to 900, no more. So then that law should be no more. Okay. And then, just like how Will said, how the police should definitely be there and arrest all the people who do that.
Okay. But as we just discussed, the police have they have a shortage of police officers, and because these are not serious or violent crimes, they have other crimes that they are paying their attention to that are generally higher priority than this. So,
but still, I mean, they were at that place.
Well, those were security guards. So these are private security that perhaps the store would employ to keep the store safe.
Well, then what's the point of having a security guard if they can't do anything?
Well, they can keep the employees safe from harm, and the shoppers or patrons safe from harm. But I believe they're generally instructed not to take action unless threats of violence, towards people are considered.
So only when there's a gun in the scene or a knife or whatever.
Yeah.
So that's the only way they can come to the scene.
Yeah. And security guards don't have quite the same level of equipment that a police officer would have. And so a lot of cases they don't have they might not have firearms.
We'll just have that big stick.
Yeah.
Bam, bam, bam.
Yeah. Okay, so this is good. I think you guys are bringing up some really good points here. Let's dig into this a little bit deeper in terms of action and consequences. So, just like in our house, when you do something, there's a consequence, and sometimes that's good. So you get good grades and and we'll celebrate, right?
Yeah.
You talk back to your mother, and the hammer of Thor comes down on you, right? Okay. So
Wow.
let's let's
Please no.
I would like to hear what you think about how strong a penalty should be if somebody steals or loots a store, and how much difference that makes in terms of how that incentivizes somebody to avoid doing that or not.
Well, the punishments, I think those should be if they steal like a lot, and if like it's like like that, they should be sentenced to death.
To death.
Yes,
Death.
to death.
Wow, Max, that's harsh. So
Death, yes.
So if somebody steals, they're sentenced to death.
Mm-hmm.
That's
Okay.
not.
'Cause
I don't
the
think
thing
that's
is,
right.
Well, like if you just put a person in a jail cell, the people who are like everyone has to pay for that one. They have to pay for the lighting, the bed, the water, the toilet, like all of that.
Yeah.
So then,
Yeah, that's
Oh.
another challenge. So if we put all these people in jail, there's probably limited space for this many people to be in jail. And then, of course, the taxpayers would have to pay for expanding the jail system, and that's expensive. And then every person that's in the prison system is expensive because they have the shelter, the place that they're staying, all the electricity, the food, the water, toilet, all those things that are part of the tax system.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I don't feel like though they should be sentenced to death.
or at
Just for
least
stealing
they should be
something.
really badly punished.
Like,
Wow.
imagine stealing, like, let's say,
A sock.
yeah, let's
Oh,
say,
then
yeah,
no.
say like they steal a sock,
Yeah.
and then it's just, and then like someone comes up to you and says, "You're sentenced to death."
No,
boy.
I'm not talking about that. I'm saying if they steal like a lot, not
I
just
still
a
don't-
sock.
I still don't feel like that's right. I feel like they should just go to jail.
Okay.
To get sentenced to death, I feel like that would have to be like a mass killing machine.
Let's set up a couple of scenarios. You pointed out, I think wisely, that stealing one thing is, nearly as bad as stealing a bunch of stuff. It's still wrong.
Yeah.
Okay. So if somebody steals a sock at a store and the penalty was you go to jail, do you think people would steal more socks or less socks?
Less socks.
Okay. And if the penalty for stealing a sock was you lost your pinky finger, what do you think?
No, I would not.
That's even worse.
Yeah. Like,
Do you think people would steal?
No.
Oh.
No, they would 100% would not. I wouldn't 100%. That be like that's terrible.
Let's
Imagine just being like,
hands
okay,
on,
guys,
Max. Hands on.
I'm now gonna count to 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Oh no, I forgot. I lost my pinky finger.
Yeah. Okay, hey, let's run through another scenario then. Let's bring this situation close to home. Max,
ooh.
you like cookies, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So let's just say that you get a cookie for dessert after dinner, but you're not supposed to eat cookies before dinner. Let's just say that you took a cookie before dinner and ate it.
The trees.
Yes. So then your mom and I said, hey, sorry, buddy, you don't get a cookie after dinner.
Okay.
But you still got your cookie before dinner.
Yeah.
Now, what are you gonna do? Is that gonna change your behavior?
No.
You don't think so? You're still gonna eat like a cookie before dinner tomorrow?
Yeah.
Maybe.
But even though you lost your after dinner cookie.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, what if I said, Max, you ate your cookie before dinner. That was meant to be after dinner. So I am going to take a hammer to your Xbox and you're never going to play it again.
No. I would not eat it. I would not do that again. I'd eat it after dinner.
You'd eat it after dinner.
Yeah.
So that would change your behavior?
Yeah, if you were literally, Like, if I see you outside banging a hammer onto an Xbox, like,
I'd probably sell it on eBay versus a hammer. But nonetheless, if the penalty for that cookie theft was more severe, it would change your thought process about doing that or not.
Mhm.
Is that what I'm hearing? So what is that? Let's then take that back out of maybe our house for a minute. And when the penalties for a certain crime are more severe, how do you think that changes the way people behave?
People probably then would not like be. People wouldn't understand. Oh, that's a bad punishment if you do this. I would not want to do that. So it'll basically cause people to know that you should not do something. Like you should not do something.
Okay. So in this case of the looting at the Nordstrom department store, do you think the penalties for the crimes are severe enough or not?
Not.
Okay. What do you think would be a fair sort of punishment for a crime for the people that were caught doing this?
Jail.
Jail. How long?
Yeah. Well, it probably would depend on what they stole. If they stole a lunchbox, maybe 5 days or so in jail.
Okay.
If they stole like some very expensive jewelry, maybe
a couple of years.
Yeah, maybe like 2 years possibly.
Okay. I thought you said it didn't matter what you stole. All stealing was bad.
All stealing is bad, but certain things you steal are worth more than other things.
Yeah.
So like
Diamond
it wouldn't
ring.
be fair if like say like you went to jail, right? You get in a conversation with your prison mate, ask like, how'd you get here? When you say, I stole a lunchbox, so I have to be here for 2 years. And then the other guy says, I stole some very, very, very expensive jewelry,
Yeah.
so I also have to be here for 2 years.
I stole an airplane.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That is not fair. That is not fair at all.
Okay. So you think there should be levels based on what you steal?
Yeah.
Okay. How about if you do something maybe worse than stealing, which would be assaulting somebody physically?
Then maybe you should be in jail for like a very long time.
Okay.
What do you mean insulting, though?
Assaulting. A
Assaulting
physical,
means
like physically
a brawl,
hurting somebody.
Like,
Oh, like,
Yeah. Like you just go up to somebody, you beat them up, and you take their money.
like their wallet.
Yeah.
And their glasses, and their shirt, and their pants, and their underwear.
Yes, Max, all that stuff. Yeah.
their underwear.
And their
Yes.
shoes.
No, they're just naked, beat up in the alley, and then you leave them there, and then you're caught doing that. Do you think that's should be a harsher penalty than stealing from a department store?
Yeah, very, very harsh.
Okay.
Beat
What
up
do you
a
think would be
human.
a fair penalty for something like that?
Well, a good amount of years in jail.
Okay. What about just like a couple days and then released?
That wouldn't be nearly that wouldn't show them like that you shouldn't beat up someone. If you beat up someone, you should go in jail for a long time instead of just 5 days.
Yeah. Tell me about, do we have an example in like at home where you've done something wrong and we had a harsh penalty and you learned your lesson? Tell me
Yeah.
about it, Max.
All right, so I remember, remember I broke something on purpose. I forgot. It was really young. Don't think any of us remember it. But
I
and
probably
then
do.
Mom spanked me, and I'm like, that's not hard. And then you came over and spanked me so hard that I literally learned my lesson. I never did that again.
Alright.
So, I remember this because you broke something on purpose and your mom gave you a spank.
And I'm
Yeah,
like,
And
that's
then you
not
laughed
hard.
at her. You laughed at her and you said that wasn't very hard.
And Mom got really
I
mad.
regret that. I regret
And then she
that.
said, "Wait till your dad gets home."
I remember for mine, once I didn't want to go to bed, and then I was just like crying, and Max was getting really annoyed, and you guys were too. So you guys came over and took my blankie from me.
Yeah.
Yeah, you
And
lost your blankie.
And then I started going like rage tantrum. I was like,
Yeah.
And then you guys put me in the garage for a night, and I had to sleep there.
Yeah.
Luckily, the mom's nice enough to bring me back.
Yeah.
But
Screw you
yeah,
in your bed.
that was
Yeah.
terrible.
That was one of the harshest penalties I think we doled out with you, William. That was
Yeah.
that was you were going bananas and you needed to learn a
Crazy.
good lesson. And I think you did.
Yep, I learned my lesson. I never want to go back there again.
So let me ask you guys, because we've had punishments around the house. Both, you know, we'll maybe take things away, or we'll take away privileges that you have. If you do something sort of against our policies or rules in the house.
Mhm.
And do you think that's made you better human beings or not?
Better, yeah.
Why?
Because, you know, if you're disrespectful and you break a plate on purpose, like what I did, and then I got it's kind of like you are better because because that means if you break it, you're gonna so then you wanna kind of be a little better at self-focus, not just throwing a plate on the ground.
Okay, William.
I agree with Max.
So you think you think Mom and I having some strict rules and consequences has made you better?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. So we'll keep that going. Maybe I should increase the consequences for things that you guys do out of line. What do you think?
Please no. Please God no. I